Robert Zanicky and his other academy teammates are in the Western region to run a week-long residency program for underprivileged children from Ghana and the Ivory Coast who love the game of soccer. The aim is to give the young talent hope to develop their soccer ambitions as professionals. The academy also believes that football represents a ray of hope in the dark wilderness of poverty where these children are raised. Robert Zanicky notes that United Soccer Training Academy is dedicated to the overall development of the individual players within their training systems as a player academy rather than a club. He reiterates that the focus is on the individual player, not teams. He says after studying the young boys who had the opportunity to be part of the week-long program, Ghana can boast of great talent who can become future stars.
First thing we notice about the country is not only the beautiful scenery in the area, we've noticed how wonderful the people are, and the football has been beyond our belief. I've traveled around the globe. I most recently was in Brazil, and they've often said that the heart of football is in Brazil, and now after I've come to Ghana, I'm going to reassess that. I'm going to reassess that statement because I think the Ghanaian player is an even better player than the Brazilian player, at least from what we've seen so far.
Robert Zanicky is, however, calling on stakeholders in the development of football in the country to create the needed platform for young talent, as his academy is doing currently.
If the country can get organized, if they can find a way to put these boys into structured professional environments, I see no reason why Ghana can't take over the world in football. You have incredibly strong athletes. You have boys with natural footballing brains and natural footballing ability. That what we see, and the only problem we see, is there just hasn't been much structure. And that's why United Soccer Training Academy has come to Ghana to see if we can set up a shop here and start to work with these boys and give them a structure to create generation after generation after generation of the professional footballers. And if we can get this off the ground the way that we believe we can, and other academies and clubs follow suit with our European curriculum, I firmly believe that very soon they will talk about Ghana the same way they've talked historically about the Italys, the Germanys, and the Brazilians. And at some point I believe that they'll surpass all of those nations in football.
He urges the football players to be disciplined and listen to their instructors anytime they are at training. That, he says, coupled with prayers, can send them far.
For these young players coming up, my main advice is for them to train as often as possible. Learn to not only make themselves better players, but learn to make the players around them better. Get more spatial awareness. Figure out how to use the entire pitch, not just the pitch that's directly in front of you, and obviously to pray for guidance and for the strength to become professional players.
Brogan of Manchester United, who is a member of the United Soccer Training Academy team in Ghana, also believes the footballing potential in Ghanaian soccer kids is very high with great technical abilities.
Potentially, I think the best. No, honestly, we feel potentially these kids could be among the best around anywhere in the world. We turned up on Saturday for the first session and they literally just blew our mind. We could not believe it. Maybe, possibly we expected between 300 and 400 children to turn up, and that would have been fantastic, honestly, fantastic. But for over 1,000 to turn up, maybe 1,200 kids on the first day, it was unbelievable. But the standard, unbelievable, honestly, it's blown us away, genuinely. We like to build up some good relationships here. The kids are definitely here. The talent's here. Honestly, very good.
No, I mean, just as I was just contemplating. When kids are developing, you see a lot of talent in them. Somewhere along the line, they have problems. Now, looking at these kids at the age of 9, coming through to the level which you want them to be, how do you see them developing? Do you see them developing in an environment like this with education and everything? And looking at Ghanaian players in general, how does the future look like for these kids?
Well, in the summer, I managed to watch every game from Ghana under-20s, yeah, and they were outstanding. So I know at under-20s level, some very good players. I think a couple of players have played, yeah, the previous 2 games for African nations, they've come on and played, and they're doing well. The future should be really bright, but it's giving the kids a chance. It's finding the players, finding the lads, and giving them a chance. That's the main thing. What I find, and talking to Bob Zanicky, when we speak, is the way they shield the ball and hide the ball is fantastic. They're very, very skillful, and they must keep this. We want to find and develop and produce really skillful and creative players. That's what we want to find. The lads are here. The ability is definitely here, and we think we can build some good relationships. And in years to come, we think maybe 1 or 2 players we can produce.
Abraham Ama is a local organizer of the United Soccer Training Academy in Ghana.
Yeah, because we really want to help the kids of Ghana and also introduce them to the available potentials in the outside there, and also see the potentials in the kids and help them build on that. Yeah, I think it's been very nice with the help of a Manchester United trainer here with us. The kids have comported themselves very nice, if not giving any problems now, and they've seen a lot of skills in the kids. Yeah, I think you have a bright future. You see a lot of these boys in the national team, and I think we can even tell you, give us up to 3 years and we'll see surprises.
Coach Isaac Paha is part of the selection process for the academy. He shares his thoughts on the vision behind operating such sport clinics for future talents.
The process is like first selecting the players, and then trying to get their families in the known, trying to get their schools in the known, and then we can start from that end.
But Coach, you have been here yourself for some time and you've seen the talent. I mean, you're a Ghanaian, you've been on this, you've virtually played football in this country, done every football in this country. But looking at this generation of talent, do you think the academy that you're trying to set up is going to be a huge thing?
A very, very huge thing. Because looking at the players right now, we realize that there are a lot of talent, you see, uncurved talent. And so if you start them from that end, you see, it's the best. The other thing is that you will have to add education to the talent, because raw talent without any education gets to a certain level and it is stuck. So the player will have to have an open mind, a bigger mind, a broader mind, and so the starting is the best.
Now, this time, normally we see Ghanaian academies starting around the age of 14. This academy is starting around the age of 9. How feasible is it? I mean, looking at the way Ghanaian kids develop around that age.
That is the reason why, one of the reasons why we need to start them from that end is to be able to bring bare the real talent. Because you see, for a very long time, players will have to develop from their own perspective, the way they look at the game, without any guidance. And so by age 13, 14, they've already acquired certain unchanged bad habits, you see, so that if you start them lower than 18, then before they get to know a habit, you put in that, and so they grow with that, and that is the best way.
So, Coach Pa, how does the future look like for these kids?
I believe it's bright. I believe it's very, very bright, because aside the football aspect of it, we're also going to think of their education. See, so that as they move up, if we see that football wouldn't be something good for you, you can branch to another aspect of your education.
Now.